Hello everyone, I'm Steve Vislasel, creator of the Power of Partnership training program, where we teach consultants and solution sales teams how to build powerful partnerships so they can create bigger deals and deliver smoother, more profitable projects. Today, I'm here with Marty Friedman, our Vice President of Consulting.
Steve, one of the top 5 critical mistakes that consultants can't afford to make is what we call lost in translation. What does that mean?
Great question. So here's the deal. The world of consulting is driven by templates and repeatability and process and standardization. And I'm a big fan of all that. I think that's the more that we can standardize, the more we can build our templates, the more we can build our processes, the stronger we are. And in fact, one of the strengths of our Power of Partnership program is it is built with that sort of model of a central theme. But here's the thing. You have to be able to run variations off that theme because people are more complex than that. So the issue we're really talking about in Lost in Translation is learning to speak the other's language. Most of us are very fluent in our own language, not so much in other people's language. And what we need to do is to tune in to what language are they speaking and learn to speak some of that language. Now you look at me and you go, well, what do you mean? Spanish, French, Danish? No, what I'm talking about is different language codes, different process codes. So for example, many people have been taught that you should always do warm up with people. You should always, hey, how was your weekend? How's your family? You know, in every situation, you should warm people up. And the simple truth is, some people that's helpful with, and other people it's not. It makes them nervous because they just want to get to the problem or they don't like talking about their personal life. Another example, which gets specifically to personality types, is most people have been taught how to sell the benefit. Sell the benefit, sell the benefit, sell the benefit. Well, that's great. We teach that too, and the benefits are much more important than the features. But here's the thing. There's a personality type that doesn't want to hear about the benefits. They're only motivated by hearing about the consequences of taking that action. So if you actually want them to go this direction, you've got to convince them the consequences of going over here are really bad, so they have to run over here to avoid the consequences that are over here. So what's really important is to understand how people are wired. What are their personality types? What are their personal operating systems? What are the different codes and patterns that people run as they make decisions, as they're motivated, as they gauge what's going on? So when we talk about lost in translation, that's what gets lost in translation. And what we really teach people how to do is to assess and then speak the language of the other.
This sounds, on the face of it, pretty difficult. Changing your personality and your style and all this stuff. How hard is it to master all this?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because if I was sitting in your seat out there, I've been thinking, wow, I need to be a master of personality types, a master of assessing these things and practicing them. And here's what I want you to know. This is about being flexible, and it's about being adaptable. It's not about being fluent. And an example I like to use is that when I travel to another country, and probably some of you do too, I always try to learn some words of their language, just enough to get by. Now, why would I do that? I'm fluent in English. I'm not fluent in any other language. I can speak resort Spanish pretty well, but I'm not fluent in anything. But what I've found, and probably you have too, is if I can go to someone's country and learn to ask for help in their language and say a little bit, say a few phrases, now what happens is I've made the effort. I've stepped into their world, and they want to build a partnership with me. They want to help. So what happens is if I'm willing to make enough effort to at least try and to learn a little bit, people will meet me more than in the middle. They'll come all the way towards me because they recognize my effort and they recognize, oh, this is somebody who speaks some of my language. So you don't have to be fluent. You just need to take a solid step in their direction. And that's absolutely learnable. That's something very concrete. And people get better and better over the years. It can take years and years and years to master all this. But what you can learn in a program like ours is how to assess and how to begin making small, concrete steps, totally achievable. And by the end of the time, you'll be able to speak others' language much better than you ever imagined you could.